one, dogs often get car sick, so you do want to rule that out. If you see that your dog has gotten sick, first go to your vet and get medication, because obviously that can lead to an aversion to going in the car and anxiety about it. If your dog is already terrified, what we have to do is something called systematic desensitization and counterconditioning, which is sort of a very technical term. Dogs learn to fear every step that leads to the panic. So some dogs that are already terrified of the car, their panic and their nervousness will begin as soon as they see the car. Or it could be walking towards the car. Or for some dogs, it might be once they're in the car, they're okay, but when the ignition key turns. So wherever the dog is starting to feel nervousness, we need to jump in then. We don't let the dog experience panic, or we're just making the behavior problem worse. So basically what we need to do is, what's always part of my system, is change the dog's emotions to the opposite, which is positive and enjoyment, and physiologically calm the dog down. But we can't just do it by riding in the car with the dog because of our experience of panic. So we have to break it down into steps depending on where your dog is starting from. A dog that's starting from being able to walk up to the car but not in it, what we want to do is we want to make it a game. So we have both car doors open. We have the dog's toys in the back of the car. And what we can do is something called Find It. You can train your dog to do Find It simply by tossing treats on the ground, or you can even toss them in your apartment. Your dog will go searching for them. So we train the dog to do that. And then we start maybe with the dog just leaning up and taking one treat off the car and then coming down off the car seat. And maybe two, and maybe three. We have to go at the dog's speed. So with systematic desensitization, the slower you go, the faster you go. If you push too far and the dog panics, you end up back at the beginning. And once we get the dog in, we want that dog running around. The reason that is it's fun, it's a game, and it's going to calm them down. So one way we could do that is take a flirt pole and kind of play with it. Dog's on one end, we're at the other end. We take our flirt pole, have the dog chase it through, and keep going in circles. Or we could have a partner on the other side with a toy themselves. So almost like playing fetch with the doors open. The next step, of course, is to close the doors, but at the same time, change the emotions through praise, affection, acting silly, and reinforcing the dog. So maybe you give the dog a Kong to lick to calm themselves down, or I have calming commands. Next step is to start the car, and then the next step is to move the car. And you really want to watch your dog for anxiety signs. So you would move the car maybe 1 block, and that's enough for that day. Then you would systematically, 1 block, increase it as long as your dog's calm. Your destination is always going to be someplace that's great, not the vet's office. So you would want to take your dog to a park, or maybe you want to take them to a dog store where they're going to get a free treat. You always want to have something positive at the end, and you really need to go at the dog's pace. If you go at the dog's pace, then you're going to solve this for life, and you're not going to have this problem. If you push the dog that they're too nervous, you're going to go in circles and kind of waste your time practicing.